Hello and welcome to Pacific Dialogue. I'm your host, Wen Han. US President Donald Trump declared April 2nd, 2025 is Liberation Day for all Americans. But in the weeks that followed, let's take a closer look at how this so-called liberation has unfolded for the American people. Today we are pleased to be joined by Emmanuel Ness, Chair of the US Peace Council and the Professor of Political Science at the City University of New York, Brooklyn, and Editor-in-Chief of the Journal of Labor and Society. Hi, Professor Ness. We very welcome you to our program.
Well, it's very much my pleasure. I really appreciate it.
And today we'd really like to talk about Trump's tariffs because it's a very hot topic now, and it has impact on around the world and also in the United States and China.
Yes.
So Trump's tariffs has shocked the world, and he imposed tariffs on both friends and foes. And
Yes.
Here's what he had said. American steel workers, auto workers, farmers, and skilled craftsmen, they really suffered gravely. Isn't Trump's policy meant to protect the American workers? But you argue that the tariffs will hurt U.S. workers
Yes.
more than help them. Why?
They're already hurting American workers because, for instance, in the automobile industry, it is based on global supply chains and global production chains. And as such, American automobile factories require parts that are built elsewhere outside of the United States. That is the world system in which we live. This is a way of creating trade and stability throughout the world. But by imposing these unwarranted tariffs, what it has already done is it has eliminated the capacity for workers to have parts, and so many workers have been already laid off from their jobs because they don't have any work. We can go to other industries as well. It was United States government policy to outsource production through the neoliberal era to countries outside of the U.S. First, it was Mexico through the North American Free Trade Agreement, and then through the World Trade Organization, countries like China were able to trade in an equitable way with other countries throughout the world, not just the United States, but throughout the world. Trump has completely abandoned the World Trade Organization. He considers it to be an interloper, which it's not. It's supposed to regulate trade and make sure that it is not unfair to any country. And so the United States really doesn't want to play by the rules of trade. The tariffs are just the one example of the degree to which the United States feels that it will benefit as a consequence of imposing tariffs through the continuation of trade with other countries. And this continuation of trade, according to this political economic perspective, trade will allow the United States to gain revenue through imposing tariffs, which will be used for subsidizing the tax breaks for the billionaire class in the United States. So the American working class that supported him have nothing to gain as a consequence of these tariffs. And tariffs will be even more difficult for the American working class because they will have to pay far more for projects that they had been accustomed to receive at fairly low wages. A recent study said that the average worker will probably lose somewhere between $4,000 and $5,000 a year as a consequence of the tariffs.
Where do you think Trump's policy is heading for?
I don't think that Trump is going to be successful in any aspect of his tariffs. He's not going to be successful in bringing jobs to the United States. He is actually going to contribute to the loss of jobs through the fact that American workers will not have those parts, those spare parts and so forth that they have come to rely on. So that is a very serious issue with respect to the workers and also with respect to that policy. So that's not going to achieve the goals, at least not for 10 years, but certainly not thereafter, I care about the American working class. I care about working classes throughout the world. When you see policies that are completely diametrically opposed to advancing the working class's interests economically or otherwise in the United States, that is a declaration of war to a large extent. I think Trump has no interest whatsoever in helping the working class. He's just using this because that is the way he can get elected.